I want to say we are having an amazing host today. We have Ophi she will share a lot of knowledge and a lot of information to you girls because we want to actually chat about foods that loves you, and you probably love them as well, but they are not as healthy as you probably think, and that is something that can actually put you backwards, not forward as you think that they will. So yeah, if you want to share something about you, Ophi, that would be great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. And hello to the whole badass community. I hear you guys have been absolutely slaying your journey, and it is so awesome to be here and to be sharing some information with you guys. Just a little bit of background about me. I have been a fitness coach for over 7 years now. It's really where my passion lies. I absolutely love helping people get to their goals and just empowering them to feel comfortable in their body and knowing how to eat better and move better so that they feel good, because we want to feel confident. We want to wear that bikini and we don't want to let anywhere get in the way of those goals. I also have a big background in nutrition and really helping people dive into what it is that may be limiting them, not getting them to their goals. It's something I'm very interested in always exploring, and here to talk to you beautiful ladies about today.
Yes, and I'm glad to have you here as well because I always want to just bring more value into this community and into this program as well. And I feel like you are on a very similar journey as me. We are having very similar clients as well. So I definitely want to know more about what you think about the nutrition and just like to have a chat about those foods that can actually help my clients, to see better results. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, and let's just dive into this topic because I didn't know about those foods before I started my fitness journey. I thought they are super healthy. And for example, we will be talking about energy bars, dried fruit, any juices, granulas, processed meats, energy drinks, and so on. So definitely stay tuned until the end of live streams because you will learn so much. I'm not here to tell you that these things are bad, but I'm gonna tell you the facts about them and why they are actually sneaky. So let's just start with maybe energy bars. What do you think?
Absolutely, yes. So it's very often that we dive into a nutrition plan or we dive into our journey, and we often think, okay, I need to focus on healthy foods. And everyone's definition of what a health food is different. And unfortunately, the supermarkets and the branding of products these days want to say that something is healthy just to convince you to buy it. But at the end of the day,
high protein.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we actually have to look a little bit deeper and educate ourselves as to find out, okay, is this actually healthy for me? Because maybe it's from a good company and it says it will give you energy like an energy bar. Maybe on that day you're feeling sluggish and you're like, let me have this energy bar, it'll help me. And that is where we get it wrong, unfortunately. These energy bars, for example, will have a high sugar content, a high carb content. That's not the right carb. It's going to spike up our glucose in our body. Then we're going to have cravings. Then we're going to crash because we haven't had a proper meal. We've taken something quick and it actually isn't doing our body any good because it's not filling us, it's not fueling us, and it's not actually going to help us get to our goals. Have you seen a lot of those kind of energy bars, Wendy? Where you at?
Yeah, like a lot actually. And I've seen some of my clients eating them actually. And that's when I'm kind of stepping in. I'm like, please stop eating them. I mean, they are good if you are a marathon runner, for example, and you need a quick energy. But for us as busy women going to the jobs, 9 to 5 and so on, we don't need those energy bars at all. Your body actually needs a proper fuel, proper meal instead of just like quick 300 calories, a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar into your body. So we can maybe talk about what they actually can look for instead of grabbing the energy bar. It will actually says energy bar, so don't grab those, ladies. Even though you like them, they are super tasty. Yes, they are tasty because of the high sugar and a lot of fat, a lot of carbs inside, but they will not be good for overall results, especially if you are trying to lose weight and lose the body fat. So what I would actually look for is at least 10 grams of protein, minimum like 15 grams is ideal plus. And then we definitely want to look at the ingredients as well. So for example, if they are low sugar, under 5 grams is ideal. And also try to look for ingredients. It's like if you see that this bar has like loads of ingredients, it's not gonna be probably good for your digestion, for burning the body fat, and for your body in general. Because if it's just carbs, sugar, it's just marketing. Okay.
I'm so glad you brought that up, actually, especially the digestion part, because what will happen is some of these companies have realized that they need to promote that it's a low sugar bar. So sometimes you'll
Yeah.
have the bar that says it's a protein bar, and then you go, great, green flag. Then you look low sugar and you go, awesome. But then we need to also pay attention to the artificial sweetener they're using, because they'll
Yeah.
definitely make it sweet somehow. But that artificial sweetener, if it is one of the not so good ones, the bar might have a warning which says, don't consume too many as it might cause a laxative effect. That's when you
Oh,
know
really? I
that
didn't
those kind
know.
of bars, yeah, that's when you know when those kind of bars have got
Okay.
the wrong kind of artificial sweetener, that's actually going to
Uh-huh.
disrupt the good bacteria in your gut, and that's going to actually upset your stomach. Because if there's a warning on a food that's saying that this might make you go to the bathroom too much if you have 1 or 2 bars, that should be an
Okay.
indication that that's not something that our body actually should be absorbing.
Interesting.
So, quite a few
Uh-huh.
things to look out for. That's why I like to say find a good brand, find a bar that's trustworthy, and then just stick to that. Just maybe change the flavors. And as you said, super important. If the list of ingredients is this long, then it most likely is a no. And just
Yeah.
understanding what ingredients to look out for. I usually say
Uh-huh.
if it's got vegetable oil in it, then put it back straight away. Those are one of
Okay.
my no nos of just what that's going to end up doing to your body is it's got too many
Uh-huh.
processed things in. So
Mm.
look for the right thing is what I'd definitely start off with.
Oh wow, love that. This is very good actually. What we need to look for in those energy bars. Actually, I stopped eating them because I was eating them on a daily basis as a kind of like a sweet snack with my coffee, and then I was constantly bloated, like honestly constantly. Like I had a belly, like if I would be pregnant for like 2 months, and then I was like, what the fuck? And then when I kind of dialed in to my digestion and my nutrition as well, then I hired my coach. I actually found out that what caused me the bloating was actually the artificial sweeteners and all those ingredients in those protein bars. So not actually protein bars, but like those energy bars and stuff. And then that's actually when I stopped eating them, my digestion improved as well. So yeah, ladies, just watch out how you are feeling after those protein bars as well. If you feel like your belly just got so much bigger and it's kind of like hurting you because you are bloated, then this bar probably wasn't good for your body as well.
That is crazy that you're saying that. The exact same thing happened to me when I tried
Really?
this fancy new protein bar that looked so nice and it was in such a nice
Uh-huh.
flavor. And literally within like 10 minutes of having it, I literally started getting
Uh-huh.
bloated. And just where your stomach is a bit tender, ladies, that is a perfect
Mm-hmm.
indicator that your body is saying to you, I did
Mm-hmm.
not like this and I don't want it again.
Mm-hmm.
Our role is to make sure we
Mm-hmm.
don't do it again because that is
Yeah.
what the body's feedback is saying to us. And maybe your
Yeah.
friend has had it and they didn't have the same experience. And that's where we're all different. And maybe there's something that you're not tolerating and that you're not tolerant to, and that your body's saying,
Mm-hmm.
actually, please don't give this to me again. I've now swollen up in the stomach
Mm-hmm.
and I need
Yeah.
to go down with that inflammation and I really don't want this again. And
I
that
love this.
brings
Yeah.
me
Mm-hmm.
to sorry, that brings me to fruit juices, which can have a very,
Mm-hmm.
very similar effect. So we think,
Yeah.
okay, great, grabbing that orange juice is going to be better than grabbing that Sprite or that Coke. But sometimes
Yeah.
it's actually just as bad because they've removed all of the fiber from the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably
Mm-hmm.
drinking 10 oranges at once in that little orange juice. Even if if they're saying it's fresh, there's nothing else added. We were not
Mm-hmm.
designed to consume that amount of fruit in one single go with all the fiber removed from it. And that is an
Mm-hmm.
additional way we can cause havoc on our body because it's actually just too much sugar. It's not the typical sugar we stay away from because it's from a fruit, but too
Mm-hmm.
much of something isn't good either. The same concept
Mm-hmm.
of you wouldn't be eating 20 chicken breasts all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Your body wouldn't know what to do with it. It's just like consuming 10
Mm-hmm.
oranges and drinking them all together and thinking you're actually doing good for your body. It actually won't do what it needs to.
Wow, this is really interesting. So what would you suggest? Maybe like a having small glass or like a homemade fruit juice, or what would you suggest?
Honestly, when it comes to fruit juices, I advise my clients to stay away from them completely. I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather they go
Okay.
for infusions. So if they want to make
Mm-hmm.
like a mint cucumber water infusion or
Yes.
mix berries in their water, some nice options that people can go for is mixing sparkling water with
Mm-hmm.
flavor drops. So that where you
Mm-hmm.
get some sort of sweetness, some sort of flavor, and you
Mm-hmm.
can save on those calories, you can save on that very high sugar and carb content, and still get in
Yeah.
something that's different to water. Because let's be
Mm-hmm.
real, as much as we need to get our water in the day, there are certain
Mm-hmm.
times where we're like, I just feel like something different, and it's not another glass of water because we
Mm-hmm.
obviously want to focus on a balanced lifestyle. But
Yeah.
honestly, when it comes to fruit juices, it's very, very rare to find any that actually have the right quantity of things because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, they'd be selling you a fruit juice that would be this high because more
Mm.
than that is actually not good for you. But obviously, you're
Okay.
not going to go to a shop and buy fruit juice that's this
Mm.
big because then you
Yeah.
actually won't be quenching that thirst and getting in
Yeah.
what you're looking for. So even if it says that it's clean, even if it says that it's healthy, most of the time because of the stripped fiber, it's actually going
Mm.
to not process properly in your stomach. And some
Yeah.
people probably have seen that their digestion system, after having some fruit
Mm-hmm.
juice, automatically sends them either into the bathroom or gets them bloated. And if you're one of those
Mm-hmm.
people, here is the big reveal. This is why you're you're not wrong about how you feel. Your body has just informed you that this juice is not actually what
Mm.
you're looking for.
Yeah, because it just goes straight into the bloodstream, gives you high sugar, like yeah, your energy will be super high and then it crushes you and everything is basically wrong. But I found, for example, now when I was traveling a lot, we had a fruit juice that's like for breakfast, right? I didn't have any because I always found like when I'm having like an even small glass just for taste, just for something sweet, I just couldn't stop having just one glass. I could always fill it up with more and more and more just because it was super high in sugar. And what your body is telling you, like, oh, give me more sugar because it tastes good. And then obviously it's super high in calories as well. So it can hold you back from actually seeing amazing results, even though it's just stupid juice, basically.
A
So
hundred
yeah.
percent. And that is such a good point because you're going to have a little bit just to try, and then you're going to
Mm-hmm.
have more and more. And
Mm-hmm.
that is actually going to make it harder compared to if you
Yeah.
just don't have it in the first place. And that's very
Yeah,
similar to
honestly.
what,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, that's very similar to
Go.
what a dried fruit will also do to you, where you'll have
Mm.
one or two pieces and you're like, oh my gosh, let me have more. I
Mm-hmm.
had a major thing
Yeah.
with banana chips that were just so
Uh-huh.
nice. And the ingredients were
Yeah.
just bananas, and they had dried them out, and it was so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started looking at the calories, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no ways I can be
Yeah.
spending this amount of calories on
Mm-hmm.
something that's not even going to fill me and it's just
Yeah.
crunchy. And as you say,
It
that
happened
sugar
to me
high
as
too.
well with Yeah, it happened to me with mango. So I was eating like 40 grams of dried mango and it was like 300 calories. And if you look at the actual mango, it's like 200 grams. and it has like 150 calories. So I'm like, wow, I could either eat a whole fucking mango, even though if I'm craving something super sweet, I can eat this whole mango, which has 200 grams for just like, let's say 200 calories. And, or I can eat like 40 grams of dried mango. I will still be hungry. I will still not be satisfied. And then I'm wasting like 200 calories as well. So, yeah, the dried fruit always, like when I check the calories, it kind of opened my eyes. It was like a slap over my face because it was actually something that was setting me up backwards again because it was high in calories, high in sugar. It has actually more sugar in the dried fruit than the actual fruit. So if you are craving something, ladies, definitely go for the fresh fruit. Like if you are craving banana, go for a banana instead of the banana chips. I know that you are maybe going for the crunch, but I'd rather you have the whole banana and maybe like, I don't know, something crunchy next to it, but you will kind of stop because it's super hard to stop actually with the dry fruit. It's
Yeah,
easy to overdo.
absolutely. And as you said, you want to have something that's going to fill you as opposed to something that's so
Yeah.
small and that we're going to spend so many calories eating and then we don't
Mm-hmm.
have calories left over for the rest of our day. Then we eat more food because we're
Yeah.
on a sugar high. And then that just
Yeah.
contributes to everything just going backwards in terms of not getting us to our goals. And luckily,
Yeah.
Mother Nature is incredible and has created a variety of foods, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a fruit or a
Yeah.
vegetable, that has different textures. So you
Yeah.
mentioned now the crunch of a banana chip. But if you're wanting a
Mm-hmm.
banana and the taste of a banana, then have a banana and then have a carrot, for example. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
sound that
Mm-hmm.
interesting, but your palate does change. And when you steer away from
True.
sugar, you actually stop craving sugar. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when these natural foods are going to taste so much better because your palate
Yeah.
is going to adapt to what you give to it.
Yeah. I honestly totally agree. And it happened to me actually over those years. I was very addicted to sugar. I'm not gonna lie, I was addicted to sugar. I needed to have like chocolate or some dessert, tiramisu, like with my coffees all the time. Then I swapped to protein bars just to have something sweet, to now having just a fruit, and it's enough for me just because I kind of swapped the sugary things for the natural fruit. Even though sometimes I'm having like a watermelon juice, which is either like just ice with watermelon, just blending it, and I am still making sure that I have like something sweet from the fruit, but it's not like so high in calories and it's not dry fruit, so I can fill myself up as well. So yeah, definitely try to limit those sugary things, dried fruit, energy bars, protein bars, because the more you're gonna consume this, the more body the the more your body will want to have sugar, and we want to eliminate that in the first place so you can start enjoying the fresh fruit. Okay. Which kind of like goes to another thing, which is energy drinks, because we covered the juices, the dried fruit, and energy drinks as well. Like if you are not having energy, because what those foods or juices are doing to you is you will have a lot of energy for maybe the next 1 hour or maybe 2 hours, and then your energy will dip, and then what you can actually go for is the energy drink with 0 calories, okay? But honestly, you won't be too energized and you will end up even more exhausted by the afternoon. Because again, it will give you the energy and then it will crush because it is full with artificial sweeteners, and there is like nothing good for your body. Again, if you're gonna look at the ingredients, it will just make you so bloated, it will make you so exhausted, you might have some pimples as well on your body, and so on. Do you have like any comments on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just agreeing with everything that you said. And the point of an energy drink is literally to give you a spike of energy, but then you will come crashing down. And what I want to highlight is when you come crashing down, you're going to look for another energy spike, but you're not going to have another energy drink because you would have just had one. And that's when you're going to be tempted to have the wrong thing, but you're going to have that
Mhm.
sugar craving. So that's when the craving for the tiramisu or the chocolate pudding or anything that's close that you can grab onto, because you're coming down
Mhm.
quickly, you're going to want something quickly.
Yeah.
And that's when you're going
Yeah.
to be more susceptible to fall off of your diet, especially with all
Hmm.
those artificial sweeteners that are in your body that are literally
Yeah.
lighting up your brain, going, give me something else, give me something else. And you're going to
Hmm.
fall into that. So essentially, we want to set ourselves up to not be in that position where we're making ourselves vulnerable to having more of the not so good stuff, which ties into what I want to mention
Yeah.
about granola, because granola is also one of
Oh,
those foods
yes.
that is very highly marketed as a health food. And you will find this
Uh-huh.
everywhere. You'll go to a hotel, you will definitely find granola at the breakfast bar.
Hmm.
But what we
Hmm.
need to know is that most of the time it's very high in calories, very high in carbs, and extremely high in sugar. But it has always been marketed to us as something healthy, a better option than having cereal, definitely. But it's still
Hmm.
in the category of having cereal. It's might as well be
Hmm.
on the same page as cornflakes and all of those things that are just
Yeah.
high high carbohydrates, high sugar. It's just going to spike us
Hmm.
and pretty much do exactly what all the other things we've mentioned today will do to our gut and to
Yeah.
our system.
Yeah, and it's so easy actually to fill your day with all those calories by like 10 a.m. And then by lunch, you will be starving, or not even by lunch, by like 11, you will be starving because again, it's just sugar and your body will process this really quickly. And then you will be like, okay, it's 12 p.m. I don't have any calories left. Okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna eat. And then boom, you are like 2000 calories over just because of this granola. So if you prefer to eat granola, I don't blame you. I love granola too because it's crunchy. You can try to make it at home actually. It's super easy. You're just gonna put like oats on a baking tray, then put like a little nuts or maybe like cashews. Try to like break them down. What I did last time, I put like a what did I do? A little bit of honey, and then I just like mixed it. I put it all in my fitness pal or into my app actually to calculate all those calories beforehand, and then just like mix it up. And then I put like 5 grams of coconut oil as well, just so it has some flavor, taste. And then I just baked it, and it was super simple, super tasteful. You can put like chocolate powder as well into that. You can just find so many recipes. It will take you literally 10 minutes maximum just when you are making this. And you know that you are eating actually a good ingredients. It will fill you up. It will help you with your workouts as well. And you know that you are still within your calories while enjoying this granola. Because sometimes they will say like it's low in calories, it's high in protein. But if you actually calculate how much granola you're gonna eat on a daily basis, it's not just like 10 grams, right? It's about like 50 grams. It's like a whole bowl, which can lead up to like 300 calories easily instead of like having a steak, having a fries for 300 calories. So you just need to be mindful of that. So I would definitely calculate this even in a supermarket when you are buying granola or any kind of those things that we just mentioned. Just have a look at the serving size and then say like, okay, how much is it for 50 grams or 100 grams? And then you actually find out that for 50 grams or 100 grams of granola is way too many calories because they advertise like a serving like 10 to 15 grams, like not a lot, to be honest. Okay.
Yeah, and I love that you are recommending making it at home because
Hmm.
it's so much better. You're also able to track exactly how many calories you will be having. So
Yeah.
make the batch, divide it by how many you are making, and then it's so much easier to
Hmm.
track. One thing I love recommending with people that make granola from home is to add it with some protein that you will either mix with milk or a milk based
Hmm.
alternative or water. And then you can essentially
Hmm.
have it almost like cereal, but you're getting that
Hmm.
protein as well. Because as we know,
Hmm.
we always want to get our protein in, especially with our breakfast, to really help us feel full for the day.
Yeah. I usually combine granola or oats with my Greek yogurt in the morning. But homemade granola, actually, not from like the shops and stuff. But like, yeah, Greek yogurt, and then just put this on top. Maybe have some like berries, blueberries, maybe a bit of banana as well. And that way you are starting your day perfectly on point and you you're just good to go. Okay,
There we go. There we go.
perfect. Yeah.
I know another thing that we like starting our day with can be processed meats. And that's something I
Mm.
want to touch base on, Wendy, with you, and especially what you
Hmm.
might see your clients struggling with. But I've often seen that because of how many new things are available on the market and how many
Yeah.
different meats they are making, that's meat free this and turkey this and all of those things that they're adding in, it is definitely not the best option for us. We want to go as
Mm.
natural as possible because all of these
Hmm.
processed foods have processed ingredients, and those
Hmm.
ingredients most of the time are not good for our gut. And when we
Hmm.
mess with our gut flora, that is when we have other issues. We have inflammations, we have acne that comes up,
Yeah.
we have digestion problems, and we can't
Hmm.
understand why because we're eating healthy. And it
Yeah.
all ties into the
Yeah.
extra ingredients that are in our foods that shouldn't be in our foods because we always want to go as natural as possible. I like saying
Hmm.
the best kind of food is the food that doesn't have a label on because it's so close
Oh,
to
I love that.
nature. But
Hmm.
that's not always possible. We try get there,
Yeah.
but we also need to be realistic with the options that we have these days.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would say always, always needs to be a priority when at the
Yeah.
grocery store and looking at these things.
Hmm. Especially for pork sausages. I love sausages, to be honest, and my family always loves sausages. I don't know, it's part of our culture probably. But when I actually saw pork sausages ingredients and how much actually meat is in there, it's about like 70%. It's not a lot. And then there is a lot of flour, a lot of sugar as well. So basically, sausages are not actually a good protein meat or protein, I don't know, ingredients actually, as because you might think like, okay, sausage is from meat, it will be high in protein. It is actually super high in fat. So just be careful about sausages. If you want to go for sausages, okay, I get it. Try to find like as much meat as possible, like 90% plus meat. I usually go for 95% of meat inside, and always going for how much protein is in the sausage and how many calories is in there. So maybe like turkey and chicken sausage would be ideal, but still look at the ingredients as what's the percentage and so on. Because again, I'm trying to be realistic here. Sometimes I have a sausage as well. I don't want to say like, okay, cut it off and just eat turkey. I still want to be more mindful of your choices as well. So you can just always make some tweaks. So instead of pork sausage, that is not actually good at all, for maybe like a chicken turkey sausage, and then try to find better variations of that. Okay. The same for example, ham. I love ham, always in my bagel. But again, I am not trying to find like the cheapest ham or just like any kind of ham. I always go by the ingredients. Again, minimum 95% of meat in there. Trying to always get it from a butcher as well. So you can actually smell the meat in the ham. So it's tasteful. It has like a lot of meat, I would say. But yeah, just be again careful of the pre-packed ham, because some of the pork ones can be again super high in fat and not much in protein and not good for your calories as well. Okay.
Absolutely. And I love
Yeah.
the fact that you mentioned the percentage. And something that is always good to check is the order in which the ingredients are in. You always
Mm-hmm.
want, if you're looking at a pork sausage, you always want the first
Mm-hmm.
ingredient to be pork because it will be what
Mm-hmm.
is most in the product. And as
Okay.
you said, Wendy, you want to
Interesting.
go as high as possible with the percentage of how much there is in that product because anything less than I'd say 75, 80% of that meat is actually not going to be worth it for what it will be doing to your body
Yeah.
and what it will not be giving to your body, more
Yeah.
specifically.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And again, you can feel bloated, possibly like if the sausage or the ham and cold cuts like were not good, you might feel bloated, maybe gassy as well, and you might be like, okay, why am I feeling like that? It could be just because of those processed meats, just because they are adding a lot of salt, lot of fat and a lot of preservatives as well. So just watch out how you are feeling afterwards. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I feel like we've covered many items or ingredients that a lot of people are thinking that it is super healthy because they have a good marketing, to be honest. I'm not saying like cut it off completely, just be a robot. We are still trying to keep it realistic, but you can always make those changes, those tweaks, especially if you are willing to, change your body and you want to see more results, you want to lose more body fat, you want to lose weight. These tweaks are actually super important for you to have a look at, maybe to watch how you are feeling afterwards as well. And yeah, your goals are, the main priority, and the fact how you are feeling in your body as well. So you can just tell us in the chat what's one food from this list we just mentioned you are going to be more mindful of when you will be shopping next, and if you have like any another ingredients that you can think of, maybe put it in the chat as well so other ladies can see. And yeah, it was so lovely to chat with you, Ophi. A lot of good information, a lot of knowledge for my clients as well. So drop a fire emoji, girls, if you found it helpful, and we will see you next Monday.